In this episode, I start thinking about an EVE landing, 2 probes make correction burns on their way to EVE, and another probe flies by EVE. Have I mentioned EVE? Hello everyone, and welcome. You can see here we're with Orlin and Haidous, and this is a science bus, and we'll get to that in just a sec, but what I want to talk about actually is what really we got going on this episode, what my main goal is. So we go up here to Kerbal Alarm Clock. Well, okay, the top here, this is actually just some tech that's unlocking. That'll be unlocking shortly. Got a couple of correction burns for the Keriner 2 and the Keriner 2B. You might recall both of those are on their way to Minmus. The Keriner, they're almost identical, except the Keriner 2 doesn't have a good enough engine on it, so I had to build a Keriner 2B. The Keriner 2B is going to do a gravity assist around EVE and head off towards Jewel. The Keriner 2 I have a different idea for because it doesn't have the legs to get itself to Jewel, but I'll talk about that when we get to these 2 correction burns. The main thing I do want to get to here is the Keriner 1 SOI change in 45, almost 46 days. That is, again, an EVE encounter. Last episode, we finally encountered Duna, our first interplanetary encounter, and Keriner 1 is now going to be our first EVE encounter, thus our second interplanetary encounter. It is going to use EVE to adjust its trajectory to hopefully eventually get itself towards Moho, and we'll see how that goes. So that's, to me, is going to be the highlight of this episode. Well, we get to these two. These two, well, there is a contract here for the science bus. This is from Kerbal Academy. Science principles. These are one of these ones where you get your Kerbals to do something, and that Kerbal gets experience. And I believe it's Orlin teaching Haidous the ropes here, because I think Haidous is my newest scientist, even though she went to Minmus and Orlin, I don't know. Who has more experience here? Orlin's level 2. Well, they're both pretty experienced, but either way, one of them's teaching the other one something. They got to go to the grasslands, collect a surface sample, and then one of them's going to get experience. So that's the contract. Got a little bit more going on. We got our cargo container here full of surface science goodness. And they are on their way up to, you can see there's a waypoint up there where there's a second science bus, and up there, Theomon and Madby are waiting for them, a pilot and an engineer with more science stuff, and I'm going to finally sort out what is. I've been playing with this surface science stuff with stock a couple of times, and I've messed it up both times, so this is going to be my chance to sort of really work out the kinks and make sure that I know how this stuff works, so that when I get to a different body, i.e. like Minmus or something, that I'm not messing it up on a costly mission. Some folks may be recognizing that actually the science bus is barely a modification of another old vehicle I had called the tour bus that I used to tour VIPs around the KSP for another contract. All I did was take out the back seats and replace it with a cargo container. Otherwise, it is the exact same vehicle. Hello. Okay. Brakes on. Okay, so first things first. We got to do a surface sample. So let's get Haidous out here. Where is the leave the seat and all this? Leave the seat. She goes, and she's going to do a surface sample. Oh! Well, hang on. How does... Okay, maybe we just do the... Here, let's close that. Because I just noticed Orlin went red. But how can I do a surface sample? I have to do the surface sample. So let's do a surface sample. I got to force it. It's nice that they have it, because of course we've already done a surface sample here before. So I have to force run this to do a surface sample. How can I have no electricity? What the heck? Why? Why? Like, this makes no sense. Okay, maybe... Okay, let's get back aboard. Let's just see, try and puzzle this out. Alright. Okay, so there's tons of electric charge aboard here. Can she do a surface sample just from here? She can, maybe. Okay, maybe we can just do it from the bus. Force run. There it goes. Okay, looks like this is happy now. I don't think we're going to get anything from it in terms of science, which is fine. Somehow I've collected 6.6 units of science out of 5.9. I'm not quite sure how that works. Okay, I don't know. When will this stop? This is also messed up. Okay, I don't think that. Let's just stop. 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 In my mind. So we've collected the surface science. She should have a surface sample aboard, right? This is so confusing. She has a surface sample aboard. As far as I'm concerned, we got it. So I'm not gonna worry. I'm gonna assume that's gotten. So the next step in all of this is to switch over to the other bus. Get Madby out. So apparently what I've been doing wrong is you need to have an engineer to set up and start up the equipment. The stuff like the solar panels. So this is a solar panel, so this is an engineer's job. Yeah, I'll put it just right there. That's good. And the sort of main unit, and then you get a scientist. Okay, this is a weather analyzer, so that should be a scientist's job. There should be that main control unit. So the scientist does all the... Yes, so this is the control station. Okay. I'm not sure how much it matters where this stuff goes. Okay, we'll park her aside, and then we'll get Orlin out. Orlin, by the way, is a little bit higher experience than Madby, actually, because he has planted a flag on the moon, while Madby's and gone to Minmus, while Madby's only gone to Minmus. I'm not quite sure how I end up with some Kerbals doing all kinds of stuff, and some Kerbals doing next to nothing. Okay, so what equipment do we have in here? We have another solar panel. We have the goo thingy. I brought an extra solar panel in case we need it, but the thing is that the level of the scientist and the level of the engineer affects the performance of the solar panel. So that was the other thing that sort of confused me a little bit. So with a high-level engineer, and Madby's a level 3 engineer, you get better performance out of the solar panels. So I may not require the second set of panels, but I brought one along just in case. Alright, and this is a new one. This is a weather station, which I've had unlocked for a little while, but made no sense to put it on the moon or Minmus because clearly they have no weather. Okay, so now we're going to go back to Madby. Eventually, there's Madby. And Madby's going to check on this equipment. So let's see here. Do we interact? Yes, I saw the interact. Oh, I like the whirly-durly on the weather station. That's pretty neat. Okay, I keep seeing the interact. There. Interact. So this is producing 3 units of power. I can see that right here. So this might be enough right now, okay? And then we will get her to interact with this McJob here. This is the main control panel. Alright. And then we'll switch to Orlin. Again, eventually. There he is. And we'll get Orlin to interact with the science equipment, and hopefully this will all work. So let's start with the weather station. So the weather station is producing a crappy amount of science per hour, but of course it could be something to do with the fact that the KSC is still actually within sight of us. It's not like we're putting much effort into this. Power units required is 1. Does it have... Oh, it says it's powered, so this thing's working. And then we'll go over here and we'll turn on the goo thing. Interact. And the goo is working and its status is powered, so we do not need the other set of solar panels. Because Madby is so awesome. And this is also producing a crappy amount of science per hour, but again, that probably has something to do with science rate 45%. I'm just noticing that. What's this one say? Science rate 45%. I don't know what that means. 45% of what? 45% as good as it could be. Maybe if I had a level 5 scientist it gets to 100. I don't know, but I think I got this set up right now. It's just not doing too much because we are like, you know, there's the KSC right there. But what we'll do is we'll get these folks back. I'm happy with this. I think I'm hoping this contract will be good once we get these folks home. I guess we'll find that out soon enough. No, I did not. Okay. Yeah, none of them got experience. I don't see a notification that the contract got completed. Science bus. Get rid of this. Away. There. Yeah. Okay, so this contract got borked. I clearly did this, so... Alt F12. Active contracts. Which one was it? Kerbal Academy, Scientific Principles complete. I did it. I don't care. There we go. Contract complete. We now delete that mission. And just to check here, one of them, oh, that should be moved away. I think it's Haidous, right? Yep. She got 4 from special experience. Still level 2. But gained experience because of Orlin taught her well. Kerbin Station is showing malfunction somewhere. Oh, one of the lights needs to be fixed. Okay. Well, we can do that. Now, actually, what is their radiation situation? I should probably rotate these folks out of here. They're at like 23% radiation. Yeah, that would probably be best. But let's think first. This actually gives me a chance to talk about... we'll get Kerburry out. And we can talk about my new airlock. So this is my Mark 1 can that I'm going to use as an airlock. And if we go over here to info, you can see here I got 110 EVAs available. But what we can do now is, first of all, is this pressurized? Pressure control is running here in the airlock, so this is pressurized. So what I can do is find out where the heck Kerburry is. And so we're going to transfer her into the airlock. Close that. And then we can take this airlock and we can turn off the pressure control. Okay. And so that depressure, well, once we open the hatch, this will depressurize, but only this. So it should significantly reduce the amount of nitrogen we lose, which should help us with our EVAs available. So we're going to take Kerburry, we're going to EVA her. And let go, and there we go. Okay, now, don't need this. And what here? Let's get rid of these contracts. That's just confusing the situation. Somewhere around here is a busted light. A busted light. Now, maybe I can go to here. Kerbin Station, Kerbin Station, Kerbin Station. Go to failures. Does it highlight the light for me somehow? Oh, there it is. It's highlighted. I see it. Highlighted nicely in yellow. Yellow means it can be fixed, while red means it cannot be fixed. So we'll go into here, we'll repair the light. Fully operational again. Good job. So it's as simple as that. And by the way, like, whoa! Here, just turn this off. We don't need this. You can also get engineers to service engines. So for instance, if I come over here to where the Pomo 1B is docked, and we take a look at the engine that's down here. There she goes. She can inspect that engine, and it is reaching its operational limits. So if we click to back to the station, just really quickly, and click on the engine here, it says here we have 4 minutes and 55 seconds left and 12 ignitions. That doesn't feel so bad considering we're really not very far from home, but I believe Kerburry can improve on that by servicing the engine. I saw that. Service the engine. Engine is now as good as new. And now, we go back to the engine, and click on it. It now says we're up to 5 minutes and 50 seconds and 20 ignitions left. Was that an improvement? I wasn't paying attention. Not much of an improvement because, to be honest, this engine really hasn't fired too much. I mean, we're close to home, right? But it kind of shows you, like, if you have Kerbals servicing the engines, you can get these engines running for a good long time. And this will be important because my plan, once I get all these interplanetary probe missions out of the way, is to start really building up some sort of infrastructure within the Kerbin system. So that means ships that can run between Kerbin Station here and then hopefully future stations on the moon, or either on or around Minmus and the moon. And, you know, efficient shuttles that can get from the surface up to here. And all those engines are going to be running for a long, long time. It's all meant to be reusable. So hopefully that's all planned for the future. That's past everything else. So I shouldn't be getting too ahead of myself. But this ability to service engines, I think, by Kerbals is really important. All right, we're going to board. And what happened with our EVAs? So our EVA, oh my god, I don't know. Wasn't it at 111 and now it's 102? I am so confused. I thought that would be... I was so for sure this would work. I don't understand this system. I'm just noticing that I don't have pressure control in this. Waste processor, but there's no pressure control in this one. I'm thinking that might be part of the issue. Why I'm wondering. None of these have pressure control. So because there's no pressure control here, here, and in here there is. But I'm wondering if I just evacuated all of this. I can't win. I'm sorry, Kerburry. One day I'll figure this out. Right now I'll just get you to watch some TV. Get in there with everybody else. Catch up on those Seinfeld episodes. Now I do have one more EVE transfer window coming up. Yes, this is my third EVE transfer. It's not. This series isn't called Expedition EVE for no reason, and this one is just a straight up regular, doing it at the right time, no gravity assisting, straight up Kerbin to EVE type of transfer. And I thought for this one, I'm going to be sending stuff uncrewed, but all of the science that's going to be usable to explore EVE and explore Gillies. So this is going to be the big enchilada, and getting this thing here is probably going to be what's going to be the season finale for season 2 of this series. And I wanted to do something interesting. I want to first start with an EVE lander. This could be an uncrewed lander. It'll descend with parachutes. It won't come back because that's someday. Not today. I'm not there yet. But I really want to start to explore some of the new parts that I've been unlocking. And this guy here, this is from Universal Storage 2. It's called the Remote Operations System. It's essentially exactly the same as the Hex probe core from stock. It has the same mass, same reaction wheels, same control systems. But look at the frickin' thing. The thing is beautiful. And it's designed to connect in with the rest of the universal storage bits in this kind of modular way. And I've played a little bit with universal storage, but I really want to start exploring this a little bit more. I mean, here's this thing. This is an atmospheric science unit. It's basically just the thermometer and the barometer from stock. Has the same mass and does the same science. But again, look at the thing. The thing's beautiful. It's like, and it just clicks right in there. It looks great. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to build a lander all around this thing. So I'm going to put this all into one of these storage units. I'm going to hide some landing legs in here. Put a parachute obviously on the top with a heat shield. It's going to go through Eve's atmosphere, hopefully just kind of get down to the surface and transmit all the science that it can. And there's so many cool things that I could get into here. I mean, look at this absolutely beautiful little fuel cell. This is either, you can use either hydrogen or oxygen or monopropellant and oxygen. It fits in here so nicely, but it's so easy at Eve to just power everything with solar, so it really didn't make sense to put it on there. I wish I thought about it on my probe that will eventually make its way out to Joule. But either way, I was getting pretty excited. I ended up with something that I thought, I mean, okay, admittedly, it does look like a giant flying trash can, but I kind of like it. It's got some charm. Unfortunately, when I went to test it, I had no control. I had no communication. And in fact, if you take a look up here, the top left, it's just blank. It's not saying I don't have a signal. It's saying nothing. I'm not quite, something just doesn't feel right. There's just, I don't know. I couldn't get this thing to work. I could be doing something wrong, but if it is, I didn't see what it was. So unfortunately, I had to get rid of that remote operation system, replace it with just a stock Octo probe core. But I kept true to the sort of central design. I did want to test this around Kerbin, so I used the simulator. The simulator is great. You can, every time you go to a different sphere of influence, you get the ability to simulate in that sphere of influence. I have yet to get to Eve with anything though, so I had to sort of test this in Kerbin's atmosphere instead of Eve's atmosphere, and all I wanted to see is, can this thing hold a vector? And it did. It held to the retrograde vector. It descended through Kerbin. I think it should be okay to descend through Eve. Tell you what I'll do though is, once I get that flyby with Eve, which will happen this episode, then I will test this again really on Eve and make sure this thing really will go down safely in Eve. But I ended up happy with this. I also got in and built myself a ghillie lander, put a vehicle together, a vehicle that I absolutely 100% hated. This thing took me forever to get designing right. It kept losing control, and I think it took me a while to determine what the reason was. The reason are these universal storage fairings that are up here towards the top that I left exposed because I thought they looked fairly aerodynamic. Turns out they're not. I ran into this problem before with one of my supply barges that go up to Kerbin Station. Although these universal storage containers look aerodynamically sound, they have a ton of drag to them, and that's why this thing ended up having all kinds of difficulty. In the end, I got it to fly, and you will be seeing this very shortly, probably next episode, flying for real. I think it's still ugly as sin, but I went with it. I also built one more Eve mission. This is going to be a little bit more straightforward with orbital probes to get all the science, do a bit of mapping and all that kind of stuff around Eve and Gilly. And all of this will be coming up in the not too distant future, but right now I have some more immediate concerns. And it's time to do a crew rotation. Yeah, I thought the three that were up there were getting irradiated enough. They're at just over 25%, I think, radiation. We should really, let's see, what do we do? Let's see if we can check Kerbin Station. Oh my gosh, I got so much stuff now. There we go. Info, and they're at 24% radiation. We won't let this go any further than it already has. So we're going to do a crew rotation. So another pilot, another scientist, another engineer, and in fact I even picked up a contract here, another one of these Kerbal Academy contracts, which earn your Kerbal experience. This one, simply get Madby and put her up at Kerbal Station for 30 days. And there you go, she gets experience for that. And she is actually one of my most experienced Kerbals, because she's already gotten experience from these contracts. She's got 9 special experience. Really kind of... Oh yeah, she's a level 3. She's my only level 3 Kerbal. So that's pretty exciting. So she'll be getting even more. I doubt she'll get to level 4, but yeah. And of course we're here with the Palm 1B, very familiar vessel. And as Lagerford maneuvers the Palm 1B to its docking berth, I want to welcome to the team 4 new patrons: Alec Paul, Lofty, Zach W, and Matthew. Thank you very much, folks, for your support. It absolutely does make making these videos possible. And also take this chance to thank all of my subscribers, all of those people that hit that like button and leave comments down there below the description. It really does help feed that YouTube algorithm and get these videos seen by more people. But in the meantime, Lagerford does seem to be closing in here. Boom. Okay, we're there. Ooh, little bit of a wobble. Find react. Oh no, there's no reaction wheels in there. There should be just in the pro body here. There we go. Toggle torque. All right. We're there. So we need to put Kerburry. Alright, they're all in the TV room. I guess this one. Yeah. Alright. Also set up an alarm for 30 days. Saying that Madby contract done. Because these things have a tendency to get borked, and it really kind of bugs me, but it is what it is, right? So now the station's actually working on 2 contracts. And this says I still have 352 days left on this contract, which was to have them up for 360 days. Clearly that's gotten borked. See why I do this? I did set an alarm. They still got 165 days, but whatever. Back away from the station. Engine. And oh, I didn't check oxygen and whatever. I think they should have lots. We need to toggle a torque. You're now running. And yeah, I don't know how much oxygen. Yeah, they're taking some stuff with them. Well, I'm not going back. Not going back. Alright, it's Keriner time. Alright, so this is the Keriner 2. Midway, well, somewhere in between Kerbin and Eve. And again, I made the Keriner 2B because I did not upgrade this engine. So this engine only has about 1 minute of burn time left in it. Yeah. So I'm not going to be able to even get a capture around Eve, but we'll find something to do with it. Now, did I upgrade? Like, I'm sure. Did I upgrade anything? Nope. The reliability on the transmitters are normal. Where's the probe body? The probe body, the reaction wheels are normal. Okay, whatever. Let's get thinking about this burn. So, what are we doing? I've honestly forgotten. Where is Eve? Here's Eve. Focus view. So we are blasting by Eve. We're just getting in close. I think that's all I think I am going to do. Maybe we'll plunge Might plunge into the atmosphere as we get closer. But that's going to be about the end of it. Okay, so let's see here. We can get ourselves definitely closer. I can tweak down this engine. It's only a tiny little correction. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Here it comes, and I just want to be just above the atmosphere. We'll tweak this even further. Yeah, I like that. I like that. You know, we'll probably dip into the atmosphere a little bit. We'll see what happens. I mean, this probe can't really do much of anything because it has so little burn time. 44 seconds of burn time left. There's no way for it to be able to get a capture. But hopefully we can do something interesting with it. But that's 107 days away, but with the way I'm jumping forward in time, that might be next episode, if not definitely the episode after that. But right now, let's get to this thing's sister craft. Alright, yeah, so we're 12 days away from this guy's burn. He is virtually identical, except for the fact that I did upgrade the engine, though I'm pretty sure that I did not upgrade this. Nope, reaction wheels are nominal, and if the reaction wheels go... Oh, we do have secondary reaction wheels. Okay, okay, so if I got 2 sets of reaction wheels, one could go. Antennas, yeah, I didn't upgrade anything other than the engine. I got to get better at that. Coronal mass ejection heading for the Minmus 1B. That does not matter. So the Minmus 1B is, oh, what's this? Yeah. That doesn't matter because the Minmus 1B is defunct. Coronal mass ejection heading towards the Duna system. That could be a deal because we should have... Whoa. Let's see here. Let's check to make sure. But we should have... Oh, wait. Turn on that radiation scanner. Excellent. Okay, so we can do a radiation scan. I should also check on the Ike one. Oh, connection is... Okay, it must be in a communication hole. So let's transmit to... Oh yeah, it's got that coming, but... Oh, come on, there's a storm in progress, but why can't I... I have no contact with it. Come on. It's gonna be done. Oh, wait. I saw it there briefly, didn't I? Oh, shoot. Come on. It just keeps trying every 3 seconds. There it is. Did it have... It did have its radiation scan running, and it's collecting radiation science. Good for you! Even though we didn't have communication with you, so it's collecting. It's going to be 25.2 science that it's going to transmit. Probably hasn't yet. That's awesome. It's got nothing else. Unlike the Duna 1, it has nothing else to do. Going to the Duna 1. It should also be collecting radiation scanning stuff. It is. Awesome. Did it get it all? Oh, it's working on it though. Hopefully our drive... Oh, shoot. Our drive is full. What else is new? That's the classic problem with this guy. Needs a bigger drive. Now, how much of that radiation scan did it get? So, it got all of the radiation from that solar storm above Ike. It's just in the process of transmitting it. It did not get... Looks like it got about half of it above Duna before it ran out of hard drive space, but that's okay. Okay, so it's got to transmit a lot. Okay, well, it's more science. Okay, we got ourselves another correction to do coming up in about 15 minutes. And just to remind people what the story is with the Keriner 2B, this one is hopefully on its way out to Joule, barring further challenges. So it is Gonna fly by Eve. We can show you the path around Eve here. There's its projected path around Eve. We're going to do another burn at Eve, about 1,200 meters per second. That's going to kick us out even further. And we're going to be hitting Joule out here sometime in the distant future. But step one is this tiny little correction we got to do with this, guys. This engine thankfully has tons of 18 minutes and 38 seconds worth of burn time still left. So the engine should be fine. Reaction wheels, antennas, probe bodies, solar panels. Everything else maybe not. But, you know, one thing at a time. There we go. Now this might require some tweaking. We'll see how this does. I'm pretty happy with that. So the burn's complete. But what we'll do is we'll take this node. This node. Oh, I don't know if it needs much tweaking here. We'll snap it back to periapsis. We got a nice encounter with Joule here. Can I get that any closer? That's further. That's... Oh, okay. I don't have to adjust really anything other than to pop that back onto periapsis. Okay, that is 93 days away. And you know, I think we probably will be getting to this next episode, given the way that I'm time jumping. But right now it's time to get to the Keriner 1. Now the first of quite a number of crafts on their way to Eve. Still with a reasonable signal strength, given our crappy antennas. So here comes our Eve encounter. And again, just to remind people, we're going to fly by pretty close to Eve. Just above the atmosphere. 93 kilometers. Nice. And that should put us into this purple orbit. And then once we've exited Eve's SOI, I'm going to try and see if I cannot finagle a Moho encounter. We'll see how that goes. But for now, no burns, no nothing. This is purely Sir Isaac in the pilot seat. Now soon, this is again our, whoops, I think we just crossed in. We are now in Eve's sphere of influence. I don't think I need to make a correction at all. Let me again just take a quick look at my resulting orbit. I think I'm okay with this. I think so. I don't think I can do for now any better than that. So we are now in Eve's SOI. Yeah, we have some the light and the telemetry report's already done. The temperature scan's almost done. Radiation scan is on the way. Now Eve, does it not have? No, I think Eve has. Again, I'm thinking about Venus. I don't think there is much of a magnetic field to deal with. No, this is a space global one. There might be a small magnetic sphere close in, but that is going to be about it. And hopefully we are transmitting this stuff without too much difficulty. Nope, looks good. Looks good. Look good. Okay, let's get ourselves. Let's close alarm clock. Actually, let's add an alarm for periapsis. Make sure we'll stop ourselves before we get to. Give us a 15 minutes warning here. There we go. Still. Okay, let's get ourselves closer. And while we're coming in, we definitely should be losing all of our... There we go. Temperature scan around Eve. 25.2 radiation scan. And telemetry report. All transmitted away. So we come in towards our purple planet. Oh, I'm sure we got some milestones here. We do. Recent accomplishments of our space program have attracted contributions of a number of organizations. That's our alarm. We have initiated our first flyby of Eve, and we have gathered our first scientific data, and we have a contract complete to simply collect science from Eve's sphere of influence. Now, at some point, we should be getting into low space. We're clearly nowhere near that right now. This is going to be a brief visit, but we do have a total of 4 vessels. This is the first of 4 vessels coming this way. So, and each of them are going to do, hopefully, a little bit more. Definitely the last one is going to be doing more. It's got, oh, we're in low space now. It's got, the last one's got 3 landers. The Eve landers has 3 landers, 2 for Eve and 1 for Gilly. So that should be in. I also have some mapping satellites on the way too. Now, let's take a look at this. Magnetics fields. Oh, I think we got nothing. Okay. Oh, there we go. That is the magnetic sphere. And I think I'm doing a very good job of completely avoiding it. So hopefully we'll do better next time. Yep, okay. That's cool. Yep, okay. Eve, Venus actually has an interesting magnetic field because it's actually just an induced magnetic field. It's not coming from the planet. It's coming from the sun's, the solar wind's interaction with Venus's atmosphere that generates Venus's magnetic field. But it does have a magnetic field. Not a particularly strong one, so that's probably appropriate what it was showing to us. There we go. Just buzzing across the atmosphere. Very nice. We should have collected by now everything. Yeah, we have. So we're just transmitting that away. You know, I finally have gotten used to using this menu system with Kerbalism. It is just fantastic. Not having to... Oh, I just realized, do I have a SCANsat scanner on here? What the heck? Why do I have that? I don't know why I have that. I might as well do something with it. We'll scan a strip. I didn't even realize that was on there. What I should have had that on a long time ago. So it is doing a low resolution altimetry scan. So we'll get a strip, or part of a strip as we blow by here. Should have had that on right away, but we'll keep it going. And there's science too with this. It doesn't tell you how much. Kerbalism doesn't seem to get along with the SCANsat mod. But there is some science. Alright, we are now out of near space. About Eve. We should set ourselves an alarm for when we're going to be exiting. Whoops, wrong button. There we go. Yeah, 1 minute's enough. So in a day we'll be exiting Eve's, come on, sphere of influence. But as we have nothing else to do, we might as well just keep going. Okay, yeah. It's transmitting away. So nice that this can transmit it. What did I say? Oh, 71%. That's not terrible. I think we're too high off the atmosphere now to bother with, or too far from the planet to bother with SCANsat, so we'll turn that off. How's our science doing? 175.5 science. We collected a lot of science just on that blast pass. We are done. Good little probe. You haven't blown up yet. We have a coronal mass ejection heading for the Minmus 1. What is it about coronal mass ejections in the Minmus 1B? You just hate it. Head for a probe that's actually doing something. Minmus 1B flew by Minmus and then just got ejected and is somewhere. Maybe I should just delete it. I'm almost positive I can't communicate with it because it has just crappy... I think it just has communitrons, like 16s. Heading for Munar 1. Don't care. I don't care. I don't care about your coronal mass ejections. And then we'll go until we get the actual... There we go. We are now orbiting the sun once again. Bye-bye, Eve. And now comes a moment of truth. do I have, or can I finagle an encounter with Moho? That was always the idea. The original idea was this was going to be a direct transfer like my one out towards Jewel, but I messed up the orbital insertion back at Kerbin. But I should be able to get this to work. So what we're going to do, we're going to put a maneuver right here at the descending node, which looks like it's pretty darn close to right. Yeah, I think that's in a pretty good spot. So right at the equatorial descending node, that is not where you want to be. You want to be right there. Where are you thinking about? Okay. Oh, it's doing it with the sun. That's not the equatorial descending node, the relative descending node. And then what I want to do... Oh, I can snap to the relative descending node right there. Now it's at the right spot. Give myself some retrograde here. And what I'm looking for is, let's give it a little bit more because I definitely don't want to risk running into Eve again. What I'm looking for is a Moho encounter. Now we might end up having to ride around a little bit, but we'll see how it goes. Let's first start by just doing this. And that doesn't seem to be doing too much. I'm not seeing those encounter indicators. So we'll push this back up. There, that was pretty good. And now what we'll do is we'll start popping ahead orbits. But at some point we should be starting to see a prediction. Oh dear. Why am I not getting that? We should be able to create a phasing orbit that lets us hit Moho. And I don't want to get into thinking about this. Don't make me think. I don't want to think. Because our period here is going to be different than... Okay, let's go outwards. I just want to see a connection. You should... Why? Why? I'm not going to make this burn, but I should be able to get... I am so confused. Oh, I see a bit of the issue. Okay, that might be a bit of the issue here. Let's turn ourselves prograde. I'm just noticing now that I'm zooming right in here that I'm not quite touching Moho's orbit. So we're going to right now just put ourselves prograde because we're very close to the apoapsis of our orbit. And what's our throttle like? That's good. Let's see if we can just push this out just... so those two orbits are just touching. Okay, I think that looks pretty good. Now, let's try again to put in at the target descending node. So what we need to do, let's again give ourselves a bit of retrograde. Oh, now at least we're seeing the encounter. See that? Right there? So ideally it would be just groovy if we could get this to work, but that's not going to be our friend. Now just bring those ahead. Now what's happening, by the way, why they jump like they do, like watch, all of a sudden they'll jump. They might anyway. And what's happening is that this encounter node is getting behind the maneuver node, so it starts to think I'm on the next orbit. Ah, this is working. This is working. Here we go. Get these as close as we can get them. Whoa, they're right on top of each other. Okay. 13. Ah, and there's our encounter. Nice. So just to sort of explain what's going on here, what we're doing, we're coming down here. Right here, we're performing a burn that's adjusting our period. So our period's becoming smaller, but it's timed in such a way so that when we go around one more time, we will encounter Moho. And yeah, now what I want to do, let's see, this burn is unfortunately almost 700 meters per second. I can, well, we'll see. See if I add the delta V's for this. There are savings to be had, but it will then take longer, which, as always, I'm trying to avoid. It's just about getting our Moho encounter as close as we can. I think this Moho encounter is going to be a flyby. So this burn is coming up in just 62 days. And then with a subsequent Moho encounter 95 days from now. It's looking like we'll just be doing a flyby of Moho, but, you know, it is what it is. Oh, wait a second. Oh no, I only got 26. I forgot. There's this one, but there's still a probe up here. There's still a little ant engine in there. But whatever. We'll see what we can do. We'll do a few passes of, well, maybe, you know, fly by Moho. Keep using Moho to kind of maybe tweak down this orbit as much as we can, so that eventually we might be able to make a pretty cheap capture. We'll see how it goes. For now, though, let's see. We got that. We got this. This is now done with. Well, we got our Kerbin to Eve, and this is a straight up, flat out Kerbin to Eve window. Got a lot of stuff ready to launch. That's all going to be for the next episode, and I hope to see you then.